What's up, y'all, man? This is a video stating very clearly, should Deontay Wilder retire? Now, it's Deontay Wilder's career. He can do whatever he wants with his career. I'm not saying he should retire, but I'm just giving my opinion about it. You know what I'm saying? I think Deontay Wilder should think about retiring. He took a lot of punishment in the second fight and in this fight. Now, people are kind of overlooking. I see some people overlooking the punishment he took because he was able to knock Tyson Fury down twice. But after he knocked Tyson Fury down and Tyson Fury got up, the last 6 rounds were very dominant rounds by Tyson Fury. And people saying Deontay Wilder had a lot of heart, he took a lot of punches. Yes, he took a lot. Yes, he had heart. Yes, he took a lot of punches. Therein lied the problem. He took a lot of probably unnecessary punishment, probably the last 3 rounds. But Malik Scott didn't have the power to throw in the towel because Deontay Wilder took the power out of his trainer's hands. The trainers are no longer able to throw in the towel when it comes to Deontay Wilder. So Malik Scott, he just had no power. He couldn't throw in the towel. And therefore, Deontay Wilder took a lot of punishment. And maybe his career is never going to be the same because I look at fighters like Mildred Taylor. When he fought Chavez the first time, he took a lot of punishment. And those were lightweights. You know what I'm saying? It's heavyweights that was punching that they were punching each other back and forth. Tyson Fury took some punishment as well, but he didn't take punishment like Deontay Wilder, the sustained punishment over a long period of time like Deontay Wilder did. And if you go look at Riddick Bowe and Holyfield, go look at their trilogy. A lot of punishment in that trilogy. Those guys were never the same after that trilogy. Like, never really the same after that trilogy. Yes, Holyfield went on to regain the title when he beat Tyson. He beat a fading Tyson, so they were both in the same kind of realm. You know what I'm saying? But Bowe, he was never really able to be the same. And look how they speaking. Have you heard Riddick Bowe and Holyfield speak lately? You can tell there's some brain trauma there. And going all the way back to Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, those 3 fights really did a number on Muhammad Ali. They say it was all Parkinson's, but I don't think it was all Parkinson's. I think it was some trauma to the brain going on there. And this is not basketball, tennis. The only thing that comes close to this, well, MMA, of course, because that's a combat sport. That's not a non-combat sport, is football, because those players collide. Big, strong guys colliding against each other a lot during the course of the game. That's the only thing that comes close. But basketball, this is not basketball. This is not tennis. This is not golf. Hockey comes close. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's not those type of sports where you're getting hit in the head a lot. So boxing is very dangerous. Deontay Wilder took, all fighters, not just Deontay Wilder's, all fighters take more punches in training camp than they do in an actual fight. So we're not just counting just the fight. I'm not counting the punches that Deontay Wilder or any other fighter took in the fight. I'm counting all the years of training camp where you took punches throughout the years. The fights are just the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? Because the fight is actually smaller gloves. Usually in sparring, guys spar with 15-ounce, 16-ounce gloves, 18-ounce gloves. So, but these are 2 big heavyweights that were punching each other in the face, and Deontay Wilder got the worst of it. Like, he got the worst of it. Yes, he does get credit for having a heart, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But he also didn't have defense. His defense wasn't there to help protect him from unnecessary punches, unnecessary punishment. If his defense was better, he would have took less punishment, which allows your career to go, a little bit further than, other guys take a lot of punches. But people talking about what's next for Deontay Wilder. I'm gonna tell you what's next for Deontay Wilder. About a 1.5 to 2 year rest. That's what he should do. because heavyweights do age slower than the lightweights. So if he can get his body to rejuvenate, let his brain rest, his neurological system rest, give it 2 years. He made a lot of money, people. He defended his title what, 10 times, 9 times, 10 times. Yeah, made a lot of money, defended his title 10 times. To me, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. I know some people say he's a borderline Hall of Famer, but I think he's an in-cinch Hall of Famer. A heavyweight champion, even though he was never unified, that defends his title 10 times, and we talking about the heavyweights now. Heavyweights are looked at differently than the lighter weight guys. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. He may not be a first ballot, he may not be a second ballot, whatever, but he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. But I think Deontay Wilder should take a long rest off. He shouldn't even be thinking about who's next. Like, the people who saying what's next for Deontay Wilder, they probably never boxed before, man. And they don't understand. I'm not saying that because I box, I got more understanding than you. I have more understanding than you far as being in the ring and getting punched and know what it does to you and know what it can do to you physically. So I'm not trying to pull some trump card on you and say, well, because you bought. No, I'm not saying I know more of you as far as the physical part goes. You know what I'm saying? As far as being in that ring, and I understand getting punched in the face. And Deontay Wilder took a lot of punishment, man. He's not a superhero. He may have a out of this world right hand, but he's not a superhero. He's still a man. He still bleeds. He got flesh, y'all. I think y'all do a disservice to a lot of these athletes when y'all think that they're godlike. They're not godlike. You know what I'm saying? He if he was godlike, he wouldn't have got knocked out. I'm just saying, man. If he was godlike, he wouldn't have got knocked out. He would win all his fights with no problem. He would take no punishment. He would get hit in the face, but it would do nothing to him. So let's get off of this godlike figures for sports athletes, man. They are men. We have to judge them as men. If you judge them as men and then you put them in a right perspective, and then you won't look at them as being superheroes, and you'll understand that this man needs a lot of time off. This man, look, if I know Malik Scott did do an interview and said that he told Deontay Wilder not to do anything for a while. My suggestion to Malik Scott, I know him and Deontay Wilder are close. That's what they say. He should tell Deontay Wilder, look, man, we're gonna take 2 years off. Let the heavyweight division do what it does. We're gonna be resting, and when we do get back in the gym in like 8 months, you're not gonna spar. We're just gonna work on technique. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna work on technique. And then if we come back in 2 years, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna have 2 to 3 tune-up fights before we jump into the top 5 of the heavyweight division and start challenging the top 5 or whatever. But we're gonna have tune-up fights because we're gonna properly this time. I know. Look, it was circumstances that didn't allow Deontay Wilder. I mean, he could have made the choice and say, well, I'm going to pass up on this trilogy and I'm going to have a couple tune-ups with my new trainer. But it was too much money for the trilogy for him to do that. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? The ideal situation would have been, let's get some tune-ups and then, or at least get one tune-up or whatever. But you never know in boxing. Boxing, things change. You never know you just never know what would have happened. What shenanigans would have happened and the man couldn't get his title defense versus the winner of Tyson Fury and Joshua, because that's who was going to fight. So we don't know. Even though contractually it could have been in the contract, you just never know what's going to happen. So, but now that he got his third fight, he can take some time off, get some rest, a lot of rest. Like I told you, 2 years, man. 2 years of rest to at least get his body a chance to rejuvenate. I don't even know if it's going to rejuvenate in 3 years. Maybe he got it beat out of him. Maybe he was beaten out of him to the point of no return. But at least if you give himself 2 years, he can give his body a chance to see if he can come back. You know what I'm saying? But saying Deontay Wilder going to be back in April versus anybody to me is dangerous. You remember when Roy Jones got knocked out by Antonio Tarver, he came right back and fought Glenn Cough Johnson, and got knocked out. because he came back too fast from that knockout versus Tarver, and he even admitted it. Look, I think I came back too fast. Yeah, you came back too fast. So give his body some rest, and we'll see what Deontay Wilder can do after that. In my opinion, I think it might be over for Deontay Wilder. But see, by my opinion don't count, because this is his man career. You know what I'm saying? This is this man career. It's just what I seen over what I seen in boxing. What these long drag out fights can do to you physically, and we talking about at the highest weight level, which is heavyweight. And just because Deontay Wilder is a heavyweight doesn't mean his brain is more doable than a lightweight. You know what I'm saying? All that means is Deontay Wilder is taking heavier punches from a big guy. His brain is no more durable than a guy that's 100 pounds or you know what I'm saying, a lightweight or a welterweight or a middleweight. So he took a lot of heavy shots. And people can say Tyson Fury can't punch. You go in there and let a 270-pound man that can put his punches together and know how to punch you, and then you come back and tell me how did that feel? You come back and tell me do it feel like the man can punch? He may not have devastating power like Deontay Wilder, but nevertheless, that man has power, and he's proven that he has power. Y'all got to stop saying Tyson Fury don't have power. He stopped Deontay Wilder twice. So let's stop this time. See, I believe I don't believe Deontay Wilder was robbed of a victory in the second fight by Mark Brilliant throwing in the towel. I thought that was merciful that Mark Brilliant threw in the towel, and he should have. I thought that Tyson Fury was robbed of his final finale of putting Deontay Wilder on the canvas. Because what was going to happen? What happened in this third fight? It was going to happen in that second fight. It was about to happen in that second fight, whether it was going to be the next round or the round after that. It was going to happen. Deontay Wilder was going to end that fight on his face, because he was exhausted like he was in his third fight. So, and then that's another video. I'm not gonna even bring that up right now. I'm gonna do another video on that. But let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think Deontay Wilder should retire? You know what I'm saying? Or come back right away in April, and like people throwing out names like Luis Ortiz. Ortiz got power, man. He can't move, you know what I'm saying? But he has power. He's still dangerous. He's proven that he can get up from shots. He got up from Joshua. Joshua punched him real hard. He got up. So, what? Dillian White can punch. All these guys in the heavyweight division can punch to a certain degree, man. Deontay Wilder come back too fast, he can lose against anybody. What's his punch resistance now? Now that he took all them punches, what is his punch resistance? We don't know. I can tell you that his punch resistance is every time you get in there and you get knocked out like that, take that much of a beating, your punch resistance goes down and down. As you get older, your punch resistance goes down. It doesn't get any better. What, Deontay Wilder 36? Even though I said heavyweights age, you know, a little bit better than the lighter weights, he's still 36. So, like I said, man, I think the man should retire, in my opinion, my humble opinion, but my opinion don't count. I'm out.